This is old news, to be honest. So as many of you guys are probably aware, there's going to be no free roaming cops in Need for Speed Payback. This is old news. I'm very aware of it. It came out around a month ago. Ben said this on the Reddit. And you're probably wondering, Cam, why haven't you covered this? Now, before we get into that, I do actually want to talk about my opinions on this topic because that's kind of the point in this video. Like everyone else, I don't like this. I made a series of tweets, talking about, why I don't like this and my problems with it. Essentially, I like free roaming cops. It makes complete sense. And that's not really my problem with this thing. It's mainly kind of the way the community has gone round it. But again, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I completely agree. I want free roaming cops as much as the next guy does. The fact there's no free roaming cops and you can only do it in bait crates, yeah, that is something which I am not really a big fan of. I would like it if they were in the open world. I thought the kind of way they envisioned it for Need for Speed 2015 was perfect. You go past a police station, you get cops on you. That was a good idea. It just wasn't really executed well. If they did that again this time round and actually, got everything right, that would have been great. But the reason I didn't cover kind of this whole thing is kind of a bit deeper than that, really. It's kind of the group of people that have really kind of surrounded this whole controversy. It all comes back to my Need for Speed community video I made a few months ago. Yeah, I get it. They get it now. Ghost have literally, Ben has said on the forums, we've heard your advice, keep it coming. But it just seems like every time, it just seems like this is the new 350Z of this game. I feel like people are getting tunnel vision, from the no free roaming cops. And self-admittedly, I probably should have made a video on this earlier because I am a Need for Speed Payback channel. This is Need for Speed Payback news. But I think this is giving people tunnel vision. I think how angry people are getting as well. I just think it's a bit unjustified that people saying they're not going to buy the game, even though the cops are still in the game. People are making out like the cops aren't in the game. They're still there. It's just the way people have gone around it really it doesn't really annoy me as much. It doesn't trigger me enough to actually vent out frustration. I'm not like that, but it's just one of those things that kind of put me off making a video. It was oh, that. Another thing which kind of adds on to this is I actually got atted in a Reddit post. I'm not going to link it or anything because it's a bit petty. And I basically explained why I wasn't going to make a video on it. And I got attacked. People thought I was being paid by Ghost because I'm not making a video on paid cops. And it's just oh, the cancer on that subreddit is just, oh, I don't understand. I think it's pretty obvious what everyone thinks. As much as people try to defend the idea, yeah, of course, not many people are going to like it. That makes complete sense. And I completely get the standpoint of those people. You want free roaming cops in a Need for Speed game that has been built, kind of one of the pillars of the promotion has been police. So I completely understand that. But it's just some of the cancerous stuff I've seen about this. People, just the fact people are saying aren't going to buy the game because there's no free roaming cops. No, they couldn't. It's they almost forget about the fact that bait crates are in there. It's oh, it makes no sense to me. And now again, I don't want to brush it off to the side. This isn't a thing which everyone wants. Of course, this is a thing everyone wants. This is the thing I want. It's the thing I'm sure many of you guys want. It's just one of those things. This is kind of the reason why I didn't make a video on it for so long. Now, it's very possible they could, make an update for it in the future. I don't think. I'm pretty much 100% sure that this is not going to be a thing on launch. For those people that are asking to make this in a day one patch, you don't know how game development works. At this point, they have locked in what they're going to do. To add a whole new feature, bug tester feature, and have it implemented for day one patch, that is virtually impossible. You've got to keep in mind, this is a big thing they need to do, regardless if they have, resources from 2015 or not. They still need to implement it. They still need to do bug fixes. They still need to create assets because it's not just as simple as just putting a line of code in and then it working again. They'd have to mold the police stations and stuff in 2015. They'd have to add those in. Obviously those aren't going to be a thing because there aren't any free roaming cops, so they'd have to actually place things in certain places. This is not going to be coming in day one. I want to make that abundantly clear. Now, like I said, I do think there's definitely a possibility. I think it's pretty much certain that Ghost will most likely add this as some type of update. From the outcry that this has been coming on, this is going to become the next 350Z. But I do think maybe a few months down the line in game time, in game development, you know, we hopefully might see something like this. I hope that, you know, we get something huge like this. I hope like maybe we get some type of challenge series mode that comes alongside the kind of cops updates, so we actually have some challenges we can do, like in free roam cop events, because that would be really cool. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lose sleep about it. Honestly, as much as I would like it, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it and say I wouldn't, because obviously I would. I'm not gonna lose sleep about it. The game, from what we've seen so far, the customization looks insane. The racing looks absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to personally try the multiplayer. That's something I'm looking really forward to. And for those who are saying they're not buying the game because of no free roaming cops, I can always guarantee either half of them are lying or they're little kids. Like that's literally all there is to it. Like if you're not buying this game because of that one thing, and you know you're gonna avoid like the big car list, the customization, the story, like all of everything else, then I really have nothing else to say. I do feel like I did kind of a need to address this though, because like I've literally made everything on Need for Payback, so I do feel like I kind of had a few things to say. I don't want to really ramble on for too much, but that's kind of like my thoughts really, you know. I agree, but like I'm still going to get the game on day one with the deluxe edition because I'm a Need for Speed fan and I like Need for Speed. And it's the same thing with like, I could apply this to so many things. It's the same with the crew. If there was no free roaming police in the crew, I'd still buy the crew because of how much there's in the game. And I think it's the same with Need for Speed really. And that's, honestly, that's all I really have to say. I could drag this video out for 10 minutes and talk about like little inconsistencies and stuff, but really, I just don't think it's that important. And I think, you know, as much I get it, this is like an issue, but for me personally at least, this isn't a make or break purchase decision. Anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.